Hello everyone. Now let's talk about the definitions which are being given as per your Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Now they have given few of the definition. Now first definition we are going to talk about your appropriate laboratory. Now this definition has been divided in your definition as per your section 2, and this section 2 is considering multiple of definitions which are being used when they have started with this particular Consumer Protection Act of 1986. The first is your section 2(1)(a), which talks about your appropriate laboratory. Now these laboratories are nothing but the laboratories which are being assigned or which are being recognized by the central government and the state government or any other authorities, specifically your government authorities, who are required to consider all those testing and all which is required to be done when they are going to carry out the testing for the goods or services or the products which are being manufactured. So, and that is from where generally the unique identity code or egg mark or a kind of a marking or your ISI marking, these marking are being given. The reports are being submitted by these appropriate authorities. So you're again repeating the same thing. Appropriate authorities or appropriate laboratories are no one but the laboratories which are being research centers which are being appointed or which are being formed by a central government and the state government. Next definition as per your section 2(1)(b), which is talking about your complainant. Now complainant means a person who can be your any government authority, be it central government, be it your state government, any consumer who is going to consume the goods, any consumer who has died, so their family members or the representatives can be called as a consumer. Any person or person who has been using that particular goods can be called as a consumer. For that matter, even the authorities, your public authorities can also become as a consumer or voluntary association or voluntary consumer who are being registered by the Companies Act or which are being authorized by the central government or the state government. Even they can be called to be as a complainant, and they can file a case against these particular companies or the organization. Next part is your complaint. What is a complaint? Section 2(1)(c), which has been called to be as for the complaint. A complaint is nothing but an allegation which is being made by one particular party, by the complainant on the other party for any kind of another when you're talking about the other party, it is nothing but the organization or the companies for the unfair trade practices or for the adulteration of the goods or for the price hiking or any such activities for which the complaint has been registered and which has been specified under section 2(1)(c). Next part is your section 2(1)(d), which defines consumer. Now consumer as a broadly can be any person who is consuming the goods, particular goods can be called to be as a consumer. Now specifically a person, a representative of the particular consumer or whose death has taken place, even that particular person can also be called as a consumer. So consumer is no one but it simply means a person who is consuming the goods can be defined as a consumer. Now further, as per section 2(1)(e) can be defined as your consumer dispute. When any particular person complaining as per your section 2(1)(c) regarding any particular dispute, then which is been revolted by the other party or denied by the other party, which can arise a dispute, and it is going to call to be as a consumer disputes. When two parties which you are filing the case regarding to the matters purchase of the product or the sale of the product, and the other party is denying for the same, can be called to be as a consumer dispute. Further defining about the defects. Now this is very important definition from this particular act is your defect and your deficiency. Defect is something which has been defined under section 2(1)(f). Defects are always there in the goods and deficiency is always been there in the services. Now this is generally the term which has been manipulated or generally mixed up by the users, day-to-day users. We always misinterpret these two terms, but we have to very much understand, and which has been defined under section 2(1)(f), which says a defect or a fault or a some kind of deficiency in your goods, some kind of assurity which was been given and which is not included in the goods, which can be called to be as a your defects. And when we call services, when services which have been assured and which are not being given by the parties, it's called be as a deficiency, which is defined under section 21G. Continuing with the next definition, that is section 21J, that is talking about your manufacturer. Manufacturer means a person who is manufacturing the goods. Any goods does any kind of causes any harm to the own marking and all, which is having the goods in its own manufacturing unit or other manufacturing units, and does some kind of processing of those particular goods, can be called to be as a manufacturer. Further moving, your section 2M, which defines the person. A person means it can be a firm, it can be a registered firm, a Hindu undivided family, it can be a cooperative society, it can be any other association which is having person or which are being registered under Societies Registration Act. These people are also being included under the definition of person. Moving further, your next definition talks about your 21O, which talks about your services. Now services means are the potential facilities which are being provided or included in the facilities connected where which the buyers are purchasing the goods. For example, when we are talking about the services, it includes the banking services, your financial services, insurance, transportation, processing, supply of electrical and other energy, housing, appliances, your entertainment, your amusement parks. All these are the examples of your services. And even when we are talking about the consumers who are taking the services can be covered up from these particular. Even the examples of the services can also cover up your airlines, your railways, your hiring of the bank services, or your marriage halls and all these are coming under the definition of your services. So all these activities where the consumers are taking any facilities for their well-being or for their proper standard of living, they can be called to be as a services.